We're on.
I'm tired. Let's just turn that off so I can get going.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody? I'm on a boat that's listing to one side here.
Why?
Everybody's over on the left. That works. That works. If anything, we're normally the other way. So, who knows? Yep, yep.
We'll move, but that'll shake you up even worse.
I know.
Don't move.
So,
Don't move.
but we have actually had a true
Oh,
sound
yeah.
engineer this morning
All right.
working with all the stuff that I had set up because, I barely knew what I was doing. And that's been true for 25 years. For both of us, actually.
We don't know what we're doing. We're just here.
We just get it. But it always gets done. It always gets done. So I did get a couple chuckles from him about some of the settings I had. So
His name is Bill. Thank you, Bill.
thank you, Bill.
Woo!
Where'd you go?
You went back to her.
Oh.
They're trying to fix the squeal a little.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
some little
Okay.
squealing.
Okay. Well, see, I could say all kinds of bad things since he's not in the room. Now I can't. Dang it, he just came back.
He's got a speaker in there. He could hear you.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Let's see. Let's see. We did May and everybody did the healing hour back there. Cool. Oh, I have a guest speaker today.
Yes,
Awesome. Emotion code on Tuesday. Drumming circle on Wednesday. I assume Daryl's going to do that.
Yep.
Yep. And
My
then
chapstick is not here. I can't function without my chapstick. You're going to have to bring me my purse.
Here it is. It's there. There it is.
It's by the
The other side of the computer.
table. Yeah, that little church.
Okay.
Right there. There you go.
Chapstick is the general
I
brand
saved the
name.
day.
Yay.
I'm so proud of myself.
Lip balm. Lip
And
balm.
spiritual shamanism on Saturday.
Yes, we're not bending spoons. We did that last time. This time we are doing
Bending
soul
forks?
No. Soul retreat.
Ooh, cool. All right.
Yes.
Clarify that for people that are registered.
That's registered class only. It's not open. It's just people who have already signed up.
So if it sounds really good to you and you're really interested, tough.
No. Next time. See, I haven't had a chance to do anything with it.
I know, I see that. We have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin. And John said, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one."
You know, I
Yep.
printed out another George Carlin thing for you, and I don't know where
did?
it. Yeah, it should have been in our. I'll have to find it.
Poor
So
George.
next time.
Poor George. And George, I try to insult most everybody, all the time.
Equal
So
opportunity
yeah,
offender.
I am an equal opportunity offender. So George said Catholic, which I was until I reached the age of reason. And since I'm a recovering Catholic, I can say that. So I'd say it anyway. Yeah, I'd say it.
Indeed. Thanks again to all the veterans
Yep.
who served our beloved country.
We actually, you were not here last Sunday, so
Because she was serving.
I know.
She was a drill. She was actually serving.
So, since everyone else got up and said who they were, what branch, and if they wanted to rank, although it doesn't matter, but if you want to, because you're going to outrank all of us.
Do you want to say?
Did you want to stand up and just say that so we can? I know.
All right.
I know.
Let's get both of you on camera. Stand up. Give me a camera.
First Lieutenant Ramirez in the Army for almost 8 years, Army National Guard. Worked full-time with the National Guard as a logistics officer for the Homeland Response Force.
Thank you.
Sergeant Vlad Prokopenko, served in the Israel Defense Forces for 2 years. It was a great experience. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's one thing I always admired about the Israelis, that everybody served. So, you all had a taste of it.
Speaking of service,
Yeah?
we have our expo coming up,
Oh, we do.
and volunteers are needed. So if you would like to serve in a whole different capacity, we're open to that. Anyone who volunteers to help with our expo gets free admission. And I would like to acknowledge Areta. Welcome Areta. She is taking charge of our expo. Stand up and say hi, Areta. So let me read to you what I wrote
So
about.
now Janice can actually say, I really don't know. Talk to Areta.
She's got this. So after 20 years of co-coordinator with the Healing Light Expo, I am stepping down, handing over the reins to Areta Meek. Areta brings with her refreshing vitality, enthusiasm, a weird sense of humor, and a willing heart. These qualities make her a great leader, and we are honored to have her on board.
Absolutely.
So if you're interested in being a vendor, contact Valerie if you want that information. Let me know.
Or if you know anybody else that is interested in being a vendor,
Yeah.
because we have spots open right now. So
Yeah. For now.
for now, and as some of you already know and online, the expo it's not by invitation, but it ends up almost being that in some sense, because each group has just a limited number of vendors that we will allow in the show. So it's not like we will allow 30 readers and 10 healers, and all this. No. We try to keep it so that all the vendors can make some money.
Yeah. We keep it
so
really
it's important to us.
so unique.
And we have a different philosophy, and always have, since we started the show 21 years ago. So
Yep.
actually we started the show 23 years ago.
Yes.
But we had a couple of years there where we didn't have it because of COVID. But the one thing that we learned when Jan did a lot of the shows, on the West Coast, is that that's exactly what those shows would do. They would have 40 of these and 50 of these. So then, guess what? Only a few people made any money at a show. Yeah. And our shows are important to us as a group because it's our outreach. It's our outreach to the community, show people there is another way. And we get a lot of really, really nice people.
Last year, we had the people that walked through the door for our expo were hungry for what we have to offer. And it was just delightful. It was amazing. So it was such a blessed event. So if you're willing to help, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. But again, that's why we're so sensitive to our vendors. We used to, probably for the first 10 years, we served a dinner on Saturday night to the vendors. We did all kinds of extra things, but kind of had to, one at a time, not do some of those things. But we still try to treat the vendors as best we can.
Yes, we do.
So, and that is one thing the vendors always say, is that they love coming to our show just because of the way they're treated. So, and they do this, a lot of them do this stuff for a living.
Yep.
So, in prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends.
Truth.
We will either find a way or make one. Hannibal. 247 BC. He knew how to make a way. Get out of the way. That's how he did it.
Lead follower, get out of the way.
Yep. This is not a test.
Might be.
Yeah. Yesterday is already a dream. Tomorrow only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
And Benjamin Franklin, that was from the Sanskrit.
Benjamin Franklin's from the Sanskrit.
No, he's not. He's from the sandbox. But Benjamin Franklin did say, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So, and as all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players, William Shakespeare. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Will.
You knew Will?
I'm not that old.
All right.
Oh, maybe in another lifetime. There you go.
More things to do with fruitcake. For boxers and football players, fruitcakes make excellent mouth guards.
I still think we need to have fruitcake. A Sunday where we have fruitcake.
We were at the store the other day, and I'm going,
Fruitcake.
Fruitcake.
Buy it now and it'll be really ready by Christmas.
You could combine it with an ugly sweater contest.
Fruitcake and an ugly sweater contest.
Well, we throw the fruitcake at people with an ugly sweater. It's true. It's a fruitcake. True. That's when we get rid of them. It takes more than 2,000 cows to supply the NFL with enough leather for a year's worth of footballs. How's that? Wow. I know.
Holy cow.
I know. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Coma.
Coma who?
Comb a little closer and I'll tell you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
Dishes the way I talk since I lost my 2 front teeth.
Are the little ones hearing this? They might appreciate that.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Yahoo.
Yahoo who?
Sorry, I prefer Google. Yahoo. Who?
I know.
It's a stupid joke. What can I say?
Yeah.
All right.
What can I
On to
say?
more important things. Why is someone who is feeling great on cloud 9?
This cloud 8 just ain't good enough.
Well, kind of, sort of. Types of clouds are numbered according to their altitudes they attain, with 9 being the highest cloud. If someone is said to be on cloud 9, then that person is floating well above the world he cares, his worldly cares.
Cool. Who knew?
Who knew? Who cared?
Learn something here at Divine Fellowship.
Yep. Wrinkled was not one of the things I wanted to be when I grew up.
Amen, boy howdy.
Procrastinate now.
Could do that.
I have a degree in liberal arts. Do you want fries with that?
Oh,
I know. I was debating on whether or not to do that and figured, hey, I insult everybody else. I may as well insult people with a liberal arts degree. So
Yep, there you go.
that's okay. I don't care what kind of degree with you. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for doing that. It's a lot of hard work.
I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
You should be proud of yourself.
A hangover is the wrath of
Right,
grapes.
Terry?
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a cash advance. Stupidity is not a handicap. Park elsewhere. I forgot where I am. Oh yeah, here we go. A woman has the last word
Did
in
you
any
read
argument.
this one?
Yes.
Read it again. Read it again.
Married men live longer than single men do, but married men are a lot more willing to die.
Is that true, Phil?
Someday.
Wow. Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, someday.
A woman has the last word in any argument. Anything a man says after that is the beginning of a new argument. And again, I'm embarrassing or picking on one particular genre. Lawns. Okay. I know.
Let's jump in after church.
I just said, let's jump them after.
A Russian, an American, and a blonde were talking one day. The Russian said, "We were the first in space." The American said, "Well, we were the first on the moon." The blonde said, "So what? We're going to be the first on the sun." The Russian and the American looked at each other and kind of shook their heads. "You can't land on the sun, you idiot. You'll burn up," said the Russian. To which the blonde replied, "We're not stupid, you know. We're going at night."
What happened to those blonde men jokes I sent you?
He's been telling them, but they got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Because we have long men jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done?
What else? I am.
That was it?
I am. I know.
Okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
Phil, beware after church.
They're
Okay.
going to jump in.
Okay.
One's in church.
Hey, I have my coffee. I'm ready for anything.
Oh, Lord help us. So, we have a guest speaker this morning, and before we call her up, let's begin with a prayer, shall we? Join me, please, if you would. Loving Spirit of light, open our hearts, open our minds, bring us joy, bring us insight, grant us a glimpse at your heavenly realms. These things we pray in the name of Jesus, the Ascended One. Amen. So with a good divine fellowship, warm and hearty welcome, please welcome Areta Meek. Come on up, So this is Hinky.
In the brain? You gonna stay up there with me today?
No, I'm not going to stay up here with you today, but
I was never good with Legos, Janice.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Give me help.
What is this for?
The thing broke, and Phil has not bought me a new one yet.
That's rude.
I know. He's such a brat.
What was the joke, Bill? Tell the joke.
Oh, God.
Do it.
You want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah. Tell it. Tell
Oh,
it.
just put me on the spot here, the new guy.
Yeah.
We'll have to repeat it for the people online.
All right. I need to actually find this scripture. Oh. Here's a joke.
It's not a joke anymore.
Ah.
Well, what's up out there?
I use that.
Yeah.
He's going to avalanche. This is what he does at home.
He's coming at me hot. Start meeting up here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you know? Oh,
Let me give you a microphone. Where's the other microphone?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's in there.
It's
Oh,
okay.
here it is.
He's pretty loud.
all right. Revelations 8:1.
All right, I guess I can do this one.
You can do it a little quieter.
Oh, all right. Let me thank you very much. All right. So, during the rapture, I always wondered, it was men that would go first. So it says in Revelations 8:1, and when he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for half an hour. I just have to think.
It rhymes. Bill rhymes with Phil, so I thought we could run a parallel there. Yeah. Yeah. My friend Bill, everybody. All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Janice is making me talk again.
All right.
Yeah. So I know. I'm being punished. She just likes to have a break. It's fine. Here to help. So y'all are stuck with me for a little bit.
All right.
Let's see. Synchronize your watches. We know your phone's going to go off at some point, right? Let us know. Yeah. Everybody have a good week?
Yes.
Yeah? Anybody battle with anxiety this week?
Yes.
Anybody love anxiety? No. Anybody ever think that's why it's there? Because we don't love it. So I want to talk to you about two little words. It's a two-step process. Acceptance and surrender. Ooh, right? That's a tough one. But when we kind of unpack it, acceptance, as we all know, is the first step, right? So says the AA people. But how can we actually work with anything, fix anything, or change anything if we can't first accept it? And that anxiety, I believe, comes from not accepting what is, which means that you're just in a disagreement with what is. That sounds silly when you think about it like that. Like, people will tell me, like, oh, this wasn't meant to happen, and I'm like, but it was. Like, how do you know that? Because it happened. That is the only thing that we need to know of why something was meant to happen. Because it did. If it could happen any other way, it would have. It always happens the way that it's meant to. I think everybody in here is living proof that we've literally successfully survived everything we've been scared of from the time that we were children to now. How many times have we been in panic? Statistically, it's like 2%. Don't quote me because it's probably changed a bit. But that's about the number of things that actually go worst case scenario. But our brain likes to trick us into believing that it's going to go there, right? And that's because survival mechanisms also in our brain are, the ego is there to identify threats. And once it identifies one, it wants to identify another, and then another, and then another, and then hello, hole of rabbits. Rabbits are cute. Rabbit holes are not fun. I am the queen of rabbit holes.
Okay, Alice.
Quiet time in Wonderland. I often wish that people would take my shovel away from me, because I can all day long digging holes and trying to see what's down there. But accepting is a hard thing to do. We want things to be different, but I think that's because we don't really trust the fact that we have the master problem solver always at hand. There is always a greater, and the thing about surrender is allowing something to be. So I was thinking about this the other day. One of my coworkers was talking about how they were just like, I just knew today was going to be the worst day ever. And I'm like, that's awesome. I think we should do that every morning. Wake up and be like, I'm going to be the queen or king of overthinking today. Nobody is going to overthink more than I am today. I'm going to take this beautiful day that I have, and I'm going to make sure that it is an absolute nightmare just because. I think actually setting that intention makes it harder to have a bad day. It's like if you're like, oh, I just feel so mean today, and somebody's like, give me your best shot. Be as mean to me as you possibly can. No, I mean it. Be really mean to me. Well, I don't want to right now. We kind of put a lot of power into things by being afraid of them, by fighting them, by looking and feeling that anxiety and allowing that voice inside that says it should be different, it shouldn't be this way, we're missing out on something, these things are going to happen or not happen if this trajectory continues. And it's a slippery slope. And accepting that something is doesn't change it, because the truth doesn't need you to believe in it. The truth just is, whether you believe in it or not, right? And so just accepting that this is what's there allows you the unique opportunity to surrender to it. I want to tell you, some of you, I've told a little bit of this story before, but I don't know that I really talked about this part so much. But I've had a really rough year and a half. I lost a couple of close friends to me, 2 of them to cancer and 1 of them to COVID. And then I took care of my mom while she was on hospice until she passed last year. And it was really a rough time. And I was in a relationship with somebody. They had 3 kids. And so we had 4 kids at home. And we split up shortly, just within a few months after my mom passed. I was going to college full time. So I'm a single mom now. Rent, gas prices, was working as a property manager and making really good money. And I was decided in my degree field I wanted to go start working in human services a little bit, so I got a part-time job as a case manager for substance abuse recovery. And I was only working 20 hours a week there, and then all of a sudden I lost my full-time job. But before that, my counselor had sent me this song, I Am Bliss. Some of you guys know that song. And it's the first time, because I grew up in a very religious home. Well, my mom wasn't, but my grandma was, and she called the shots, right? So I kind of was by default. So I had all the rules and none of the example, at home. Probably some can relate. Anyways, to make a short story long, I had a rough time. You know, I grew up with a lot of religious music and stuff, so actually hearing this song was the first time that I had actually heard like a spiritual song that was so empowering to me. And I remember nobody was there because I was going through my breakup and really just accepting those nights that were so painfully alone, that my friends were gone, my mom had passed, my relationship was over, and it was just me and my little 3-year-old at the time. And it was rough. It was really rough. My mind and my heart were constantly telling me I need to go back to something that I knew was toxic, that I knew wasn't healthy for me. But it was, man, it tries everything, you know. And I just remember listening to that song and just crying and crying and crying. And it was such a release of emotion from just so many years of pain. And I remember at this point, I felt complete surrender in that moment. I just gave it all away. I accepted everything for what it was, and I just allowed it to be. And I sat with it. I sat with the pain of the abuse in my life, the religious trauma, all the death, and I just let it consume me, because these were just feelings and emotions that had been trapped inside of me, that I had at one point used drugs and drinking, or, you know, many other things, relationships, taking care of other people. You know, I graduated from drugs to, I'll just take care of everybody. That'll, you know, I'll be a people pleaser and I'll just take care of everyone and I'll never say no. And then eventually I faced it. Because it's that feeling, it's that anxiety, it's that worry constantly that if I feel this, I'm going to die, right? If I let this just be, it'll end me, which we all know we're here, so that's not true. But it feels so true in that moment when the relationship is over or the job is over, anything, especially when things end. We never think that endings are supposed to happen, but where do beginnings come from? But so here I am in this moment, not it's probably 1:00 in the morning. There isn't anyone to people please or to help or, and I'm long since sober. So what am I going to do? Right? I just felt it. And I did. I cried. And at one point I literally fell to my knees. Not, in prayer or subservience, but just in, I can't carry this anymore. Why am I still carrying this? You don't even realize sometimes that you are, because you're so shut off from it, right? But in that moment, feeling everything that I had denied myself to feel, I knew how long I had just been lugging this baggage around of other people's expectations, other people's, inadequacies. Just my parents unknowing. Why other people's unknowing and inabilities and the things that they couldn't grasp or understand had to be my future, had to be my fate, had to be something I carried. Why was I carrying stuff from Aunt Gina? I don't even know her. She can't cook worth a lick. And it's just in that moment, again, just letting it all fall, feeling everything, and not trying to argue with what is. Not trying to argue anymore that this is unfair, it shouldn't be here. Just, this really hurts. Man, that's hard. And I realized that was compassion for me. I wasn't arguing it. I wasn't telling my parts inside that it needs to be different. I wasn't trying to distract it. Logic, because your doer part wants to fix, you don't need to feel that way. They just did this, or they just meant this, or, there was none of that. There wasn't any arguing it, lying it, denying it, just acceptance of, man, that sucked. Man, was that hard. Man, was that painful. And just letting it be and being with whatever was coming out. And that was absolute acceptance and surrender in that moment. And then, of course, in that moment, I start getting brave, right? And I said these words, which, do not say it if you're not ready. I said, I want to meet my soul no matter the cost. No matter the cost, show me who and what I am. Whatever is not meant for me and whatever is not serving me, take it. Ugh. So the very next day, I'm all excited. I'm all hopped up on the surrender juice. And I go down to the river before work because I'm still working my part-time job and doing my property management. And I get down to the river and I make a whole video about I am and being enough at just I am. We can just stop at I am. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to say. Everything else is just a crazy label and is limiting. I am. And then I get to work with all my I amness and get fired from my property management job because, the owner, he had a mass exodus of people moving out because he racked up rent so high nobody could pay it. So everybody was leaving. I was the highest paid property manager and had a really big bonus coming, so I was the first to go. So here I am, $1,800 in rent, just that, on my own, and I'm making $20 an hour, or $19 an hour, part-time, 20 hours a week. And I had no idea what I was going to do. No idea. But this time, because I had allowed myself to feel and surrender, I didn't worry about it. I knew in that moment the anxiety would come and I would be like, it's already taken care of. This is already taken care of. I'm just going to enjoy this free time that I have. Some little voice clicked in my head one day and said, you should try that spiritual church you were looking at a few weeks ago. So I was like, oh, yeah, I don't have my son this weekend. Like, I guess I could do that, right? Didn't have to do anything. Didn't have that job anymore. Didn't have any friends or a parent. Anyways, so I did. I showed up here, and let me tell you what anxiety tried to get me to do first. Leave. So I pulled into the parking lot that Sunday, and I was like, I don't know how to get into this building. I saw the little double doors, and I was like, that's too easy. Let's overthink this. I should go home. We can do this a different day. I came here, and that's a good start, right? But then I saw a couple of people, I don't know who they were anymore, but they were trying to get something out of a car over here, and there was a lot of stuff. And I was like, do you need some help? Recovering people pleaser here. I got this. So I came out, and I helped bring stuff in, and then it was like, thank you so much, who are you? So I introduced myself, and everybody was so sweet. I think May was one of the first people that I met, so that's a blessing. If I had met like Ellen first, I don't know if I'd be up here. Just kidding. So, and it was quite interesting because when I came in, I felt so much peace and love and acceptance. And I thought, this is pretty cool. And then I heard Phil's jokes, and I was like, that's okay. It can't be perfect. No, I'm just kidding. I love Phil. Phil's jokes are the best part. But I thought, this is so cool because, like, I grew up, like, kind of half Pentecostal-ish and then Nazarene, right? So it's like, but my family was very fire and brimstone, everything you're going to hell for. And so this was a lot of my spirituality that I had been battling, like, oh, is this okay? Is this okay? This feels so right, but all of my programming says, isn't that the hardest part? The programming versus like what you know, what you feel. But I got here and I just felt complete peace. And the very next weekend was actually your guys' expo. And so my counselor had sent me a link to go to the expo, and I saw the little magnets on everybody's car, and I thought, oh, they really like the expo too. That's cool. I didn't know what it was. Didn't know you guys did it, or that I would be doing it. But it was pretty crazy. And so I came here, I met everybody, I found out about the expo, and I was like, I was already going to that. That's amazing. And when I went home, kind of my brain started thinking like, man, we really need to get some groceries, but we really got a penny pinch right now. I get home, I decide to check the mail because it's been 9 weeks probably, and she's probably not going to be able to get anything else in there. I'm not lying. I'm not. It's awful. The mail lady will be like, can you get your mail out? I can't put anything else in there. So, I checked the mail, and there was a check in there from the IRS. They had shorted me almost $1,000 on my taxes. Wow. Here's your money. Awesome. And I had a bunch of junk up on like Craigslist, Facebook Market for like 5 or 6 months that like I couldn't pay anybody to move. People started buying it just right when I needed it, right? Every time. Now my job part-time, I loved that job so much, and I kept saying, man, I just wish that I could work here full-time, but there was no way because they only have so many spots. Well, I ended up looking for another job, continuing, coming to church, helping with the expo, and one day I got offered a program manager job at another place, and my boss ended up telling me, we actually want to make you full-time because one person had ended up leaving, and it just kind of moved everybody, right? So my program director moved over to clinical supervisor, the full-time case manager moved to the program director. I moved over into full-time, got a raise, got a new office, and have never thought twice about how it all happened. Now, if this had been any other moment in my life, I would have freaked the hell out. Don't mess with my money. Don't mess with my job. I need to have money. I need to have savings. I have to be able to take care of myself, especially when I don't have any family or anything to, if I fail, I fail. And it was going to turn out the way it was going to turn out, always. I was always taken care of. There's never a moment in any of the anxiety that we're not taken care of. But we can't surrender if we can't accept. And if we can't surrender and accept, then we can't move. Every time a problem is created, I know this is going to sound so weird, but every time a problem is generated, the answer to that problem is generated at the same time. You just need to vibrate at a frequency higher than the problem. If we're resonating with our problems, then we're not going to be resonating at the rate of our solution. They're always there. They always exist at the same time. Everything that we've created in this world was already there from the dawn of time. We could have done this 100 years ago. We just didn't yet. We weren't resonated at that. But all the things and tools that we've needed, look at the pyramids. Everything that we have needed to create the things that we have in our life have literally been at our fingertips since the dawn of time. We just didn't know what to do with it. It's all there. Just have to access that vibration of I am. I am bigger than my problems. I don't need to go down these rabbit holes. Let's be on cloud 9. So the last thing that I want to say, which is something that is really important, and I remember this and then neglect it. It's kind of like eating healthy. Loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves. Now, some of us are really good. I'm really great when I'm in that panicky moment, when I'm having anxiety or I'm working with a part of me, like that inner child that's dealing with some trauma. I'm really great at, oh, okay, I hear you, little one. Like, I'm going to be with you. But, like, that's just me spending time with my inner child only when she's freaking out. So if we could all think this week about spending time with ourselves before the anxiety starts and actually really breathing. And there's a great breathing technique for anxiety, the diaphragm. You put your hand on your chest and your stomach, right? And let your stomach go out and not your chest. And just take those breaths. It will calm the anxiety. It won't make it go away forever, but it can give you, do that a few times when you find that panic, and realize that you're higher than the problem and that it's happening for you. But if we could spend that time with ourselves beforehand. So I challenge everybody, this is going to sound so weird, for the next week, literally, if you're right-handed, brush your teeth with your left hand, or vice versa. Just do this for a week, every morning. Brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Look in the mirror, into your eyes in the mirror, every morning and every night, 10 times, and say, I love you. I love you. And we're going to do that here in just a second, too. And then, yes, brush your teeth, please. And then lastly, exaggerated breaths. This might be a little difficult for some of us who aren't used to breathing well, shallow breathers. So you may not get to 25, but as many as you can after you say the I love yous. Give yourself as many exaggerated breaths as you can, and do that 3 times a day. Do that in the morning when you're brushing your teeth weirdly with your offhand and narcissistically saying I love you in the mirror. It's not narcissistic. and then give your exaggerated breaths. Do it sometime later in the afternoon. Give yourself the exaggerated breaths. And as much as you can think about it, if you think about it, if this weird stuff pops into your head, put your hand over your heart and say, I love you. And we're going to do that here, and it's going to feel really, really weird for a minute, but we're going to end with that. So, brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Look in the mirror 10 times and say, I love you. Brush your teeth. And then exaggerated breaths 3 times a day. And just feel how that changes things. And spend that time with yourself to say, how are you doing? Before you turn on your radio, before you turn on your TV, before you do, be just 1 minute of, how are you? How do I feel about today? I love you. So everybody close your eyes. I'm going to put our hand over our hearts. And just repeat, I love you. 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 I can't do this without you. I love you. I have everything I need. I am always in perfect accordance with everything. There is nothing more powerful than me. I love you. I thank this body for housing my mission. I love you. There we go. That's all. That's all I have today.
Except for microphone attachment. You can have this one. Welcome to my world. I have you can have that.
Maybe you fixed it.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Areta. Woohoo! Good stuff. You're back?
You want me back?
I can do the guided meditation first.
It's up to you.
Okay, let me do that.
Okay.
Bye, Phil. I'll miss you. Okay. All right. Readjusting. Briefly share with you a Bible verse today. Don't you love this? 2 Corinthians 4:16. Therefore, you might want to read what was going on before that so you know what it's therefore. Therefore, we do not lose heart. But though our outer man is decaying, yet our inner man is being renewed day by day. Our guided meditation today, we're going to go, well, I had what I did, and then woke up this morning going, I need to change that and this and this and that. I don't have time for that, so we'll do that later. And I thought, well, I'll do this one. got it all set? No. On the way here, it was like, no, we're going to go to the Azure pool. So, Mr. Phil, if you would dim the lights, and we are going to take a trip to the Azure pool. So everybody just kind of be here in this moment. We've already experienced that self-awareness through Areta's process. And let's take this self-awareness now and connect into our higher self. And connect into higher source. And we can do that by taking our awareness, that I love you energy that's in our heart space, and accessing through the top of our head an energy portal there, and then accessing an energy portal above our head. Now you may be drawn to the golden portal, or you may be drawn to a blue portal, or an iridescent portal, or a copper-colored portal, or a green portal. Whatever color you're drawn to is what is right for you today. And when your awareness touches that, then this beautiful living light of love of that particular color is going to flow down into your mind. As it touches your mind, it reinforces this willingness to surrender, and this willingness to be open, and this connectedness. And letting more and more of this beautiful living light of love flow into your heart space. And from your heart space to every organ, every system, every tissue, every fiber, every cell, down into the cells, even down into your DNA. So that you are blessed with this beautiful living light of love. And now allow yourself to take a little walk in your imagination. We're going to find our way to a nature preserve. Perhaps this is a jungle scene for you. Perhaps it's a forest scene for you. Perhaps it's rocks like from Bryce Canyon or something. Wherever you go is what is right for you in this moment. But you're going to a nature preserve. So we get to touch base with nature. So there's no telephone poles and there's no building structures. It's just nature. Allow yourself to notice the day. Is it a beautiful, bright, sunny day, or is it cloudy? Notice whether you hear birds or not. Is there a breeze blowing? Whatever you're experiencing is what is right for you in this moment. Notice the day. Be here fully in this moment, in this experience of this beautiful nature preserve. And as you're walking through this nature preserve, you see a ways off a beautiful azure blue pool of water. Well, you think it's water. As you're walking along and you get closer, you notice that it's really blue light. Sparkling, vibrant blue light. And just in this beautiful pool. And allow yourself now to get close to this beautiful blue azure pool of light. When you look at it, you feel peaceful and you feel blessed. And you notice there's a way for you to step down into the pool. So allow yourself to go into the pool. And this beautiful blue, azure blue light flows around your body. And a new measure of peace comes to you. And you allow yourself to now float in this beautiful pool of light, totally supported by this beautiful blue azure light. And you feel peaceful, knowing that whatever circumstances you face, this beautiful pool of light is supporting you and is strengthening you. because there's peace and there's power in peace. And you find yourself feeling stronger and more powerful than ever before. And after a few moments of just being in this beautiful pool of light, you step out of the pool and look back in. And from the depths of the pool, something is bubbling to the surface. Perhaps it's a thought, or an insight, or a symbolic object. Whatever comes to the surface is what is right for you in this moment. And as it comes to the surface, it flows to you, and you can receive it. If it's a word or a thought or an insight, you bring it into your awareness. And know that that guidance will assist you. Even if you don't have words for it right now, receive that. If it's a symbolic object, receive that symbolic object and know that that symbolic object has significance for you. Deep spiritual insight is available to you through that symbolism. Receive that with deep gratitude. And take that with you, whether it's the insight, the words, or the thoughts, or the symbolic object. Take that with you. Take one last look at that beautiful azure pool and know that you can return here at any time. When peace seems to elude you, you can return and find it. When insights and guidance seems to elude you, you can return here and find it. When blessings seem to elude you, you can return here and find it. So with deep gratitude, deep sense of peace, allow yourself to walk back through the nature preserve, through that beautiful day, back into this time and space, and back into the here and now, being aware of this time, this moment, where you're sitting or wherever you are, returning fully recharged and rejuvenated. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Might want to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. That was a deep process, even though we did it quickly. So we're going to do communion, and then I'll ask and see if there's any insights or questions about your meditation of what you received in that pool. So Mr. Phil, if you'd join me up front, please, sir. There you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Get you in the camera, cutie. Okay. So, as we take this in, we remember Jesus. We remember the Prince of Peace. Join us in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of Light, thank you for the peace that you bring that transcends all of our situation. Help us to remember to reclaim it. Thank you. In the name of Jesus, the Ascended One. Amen. Join us in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of Light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it, and help us to drink it in with joy. These things we pray in the name of Jesus, the Ascended One. Amen.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Beth, would you mind turning on the center light, please? Thank you.
Oops.
Oh, did you spill?
Here. Just clean it up there. Please, real quick.
Oops.
Thanks.
Looks like you're bleeding.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We have a volunteer.
Yes, we do. Microphone?
We have it in the back. Sorry.
Where? What back? Oh, back there?
Give it to Bill.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
You're fine. Whatever you want to do.
All right. This is open. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and pass these, if you would.
There you go. That makes it.
Are we on?
helpful. Yes.
Okay. Areta, your message today was wonderful and very poignant to me and very meaningful. Yeah. We never know who we're going to meet sometimes. We never know how things are going to affect us. But a few years ago, I met a man in this church, and I'm not sure to this day why he was here. But I got to talking to him, and he touched me in a way, and we Facebooked a little bit and emailed a little bit, and took me through, and many others, through a journey of his life. And he taught me a lot of things. He was a mentor. And I didn't really even know him personally, just from what I read, the time I met him, whatever, at any rate. His name is Alan Johnson. Maybe some of you might know him or have read some of his books. He wrote books, the children's books and adult books and one thing or another. He was a jazz pianist. He was an author. He was an amazing photographer. Yes. Yesterday, he passed away. And it was quite the journey he took us on through his wife's death earlier this year and through his cancer treatments and just his outlook in life. But he left behind a couple of things on his Facebook, things he wanted to just think about. And some of them made a real point with me. And one of them was, he said, whenever you have a choice between something being right and being kind, always choose kind. You never know how that's going to affect you and how it's going to affect others. And he also said, be a citizen of this world. We are all of humanity. And Thomas Paine, one of our founders, he quoted him, and in part he said, my country is the world. And that's something that, especially now, we need to keep in mind. So say a prayer for Alan. I mean, he was a wonderful human being. He left behind a great legacy. Just wanted you to remember him. We never know who we're going to meet when we walk through this door and how they're going to affect us. Thank you.
Or how we're going to affect them. Thank you, Marlene. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, bless his soul. Does anyone have any questions about their meditation, what they received? Alex, would you hand her this microphone? Alex will do it. So she's the lady that's sitting behind you with her hand raised. Take her the microphone, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's on.
The Azure poll.
Wasn't that the coolest thing? Oh, I loved that. I'm so glad that came today.
When I stepped into it, I was told you're stepping into Archangel Michael's grace.
Ooh, how beautiful.
And what I received was his sword.
So the sword of truth, as the good book talks about it, this cuts away illusion, cuts away fear, cuts away entanglements, cuts away things that are no longer serving us. So you're in the process of letting go, and you have help with that. Thanks.
The thing that I got was a red robe.
A red robe.
Very like a queen or a king would wear.
Okay. So this is, red is about power, and you're being clothed in power for your life right now. So power to make choices. So you've got some big choices on your plate apparently. And this is empowering you to make choices that are for your good and for the greater good. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So good for you. John, I think, right in front of you. Did you have one? Nope. Oh, okay. Who else? No, not me. Yes, you. Go ahead.
Well, mine was my refuge was like a safari.
Oh, good. Uh-huh.
And I had an elephant running towards me, and then I realized it was trying to get to that blue light in the water.
Nice.
And then it was a herd of other animals following behind the elephant, so they led me to the pool.
Oh, wonderful.
And then when I got in, I swam around in it for a while, and then was floating, and I could see all of that. They were so excited when I got to the pool, but then they all calmed down and like bowed down while I was in there.
Awesome.
And then when I got out, I got like a little red heart that then once I held turned into like a pink sparkling mist.
Okay. So let me see if I can translate that for you. First of all, those animal spirit energy is powerful. Some of us in the shamanism class are learning that. The energy of elephant is sacred memories. It feels like I'm being called for that for you, is sacred memories. And this is about being able to know the truth of who you really are and to be able to have joy in that. And all the other animals that came to join in and then were respectful and honoring you, this is aspects of yourself that may have gotten forgotten or dismissed or replaced because of trauma or difficulty. So it's aspects you're ready to reclaim and ready to bring back into your awareness. The red hearts, this is the love will grant you the ability, and the red heart changed into the pink mist. Your ability to love will allow you to transform into the highest level of compassion. You already are tapping into that, but this is letting you know even greater compassion. Not the compassion that fixes somebody else's world or is the people pleaser, but this is compassion that is powerful for letting people feel loved. So it's loving self and then letting others find that love as well. Beautiful, powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Anybody else have a question or comment on their meditation? Okay, if you're shy and don't want to talk in front of the group, you can see me after services. I'm happy to chat with you about that. So let's do an energy circuit for the folks online, and then we'll circle up for us. Put your hands together really, 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 really fast. You're still connected into that beautiful energy from higher source. Bring it into your heart space, from your heart space to your left hand to your right hand, and then back to your heart space. This connects an energetic circuit. And as that energetic circuit activates, you'll be able to feel energy building between your hands. And you know this energy is not your energy. This is divine energy. This is bonus energy. This is blessed energy. So receive that with the highest level of gratitude. Bring that into your heart space. You have a great week, and we will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Say goodbye, everybody. And if we'll circle up, then we'll